if Kylian Mbappé starts, because I think that's one of the, the key thing for Real Madrid. Speaking to people at the club today, he's been training today. The feeling at the moment, again, Friday morning, is that he's in a good position to start.
Huge matchup over in La Liga, but first taking a look at the top four in La Liga right now. Barcelona are in first place right now, 4 points ahead of Real Madrid, 70 points for Barça, 66 for Real Madrid. And they've created a bit of separation between them and Atlético Madrid, who will sit in third place with 57 points. And Villarreal is fighting right under them in fourth place with 55 points. So a huge head-to-head for the Madrid Derby this weekend. Real Madrid taking on Atlético Madrid. Charlie, I think at this point, when you look at the points, Atlético Madrid, they probably know that they're going to finish at least third or fourth at this point, depending on how Villarreal is right now. Realistically, I don't know how much they can catch up against Real Madrid, but they do have a chance to stop Real Madrid from catching up to Barcelona at the time. How much are they going to enjoy being able to do that this weekend?
Right before the international break. I think right now, Atletico Madrid have an issue playing away from home. That's what it comes down to. They are not the same team when they play away versus home. But this is a local rivalry. This is the big one. Real Madrid have not been at their best, but when they turned around and played Manchester City over two legs, it almost gave a boost of confidence to that whole squad, even without Mbappe. Fede Valverde came through and has given life to this squad. But now, Atletico Madrid, it's got to fall on them finishing their chances and not conceding. They gave up 3 goals to a Tottenham side that has struggled mightily in this last game. So I'm not confident with Atletico Madrid at the moment.
Charlie, I can't work out why they are so different at home that they are away. Do they set up differently? Do they not play with the same press, the same intensity?
But I mean, they look at the goals allowed.
They're so different.
20 versus 36 when they're on the road. They haven't been good. They haven't been good on the road, and it's not going to be good for them when they do have to play Real Madrid on the road this weekend. But looking at the backup goalkeeper, at least, situation, we're going to see both teams have to rely on their backup goalkeepers in this one because their starting goalkeepers do have injuries. Does that change things for you, Tony, when you're assessing how this one will play out?
Yeah, it certainly does, because you're talking about two guys that have been incredible. And Courtois, we know, right? I still think that one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Lunin has been good. He's played over 60 matches for Real Madrid. No La Liga matches this season.
Yeah.
Last year in Champions League, he was vitally important in so many moments. Juan Musso, a little bit of a different story, but he does have a couple clean sheets this year in La Liga. I would give the edge to Lunin because he's played more at the club. But I think both teams are hurt by this. I was going to ask Phil when we get him on here who gets hurt more by this. I tend to think because Oblak, as good as he's been, Courtois still been outstanding, that Atletico maybe is at a little bit more of a disadvantage. But we'll see what Phil says.
Well, thank you for taking it up, Tony. How about we bring in our CBS Sports La Liga correspondent, Phil Kitromilides. Phil, how about we start off with the goalkeeper situation here that we've been talking about with Tony. What are you expecting? And, I mean, you talked about it. Lunin hasn't had as much La Liga this season, but he has more than Musso does. So what are we expecting here from the backup goalkeeper situation?
I mean, the first thing at the time of, going on air, we're here live on Friday morning. We don't 100% know that Jan Oblak is going to be out, but we are assuming that Musso is going to play because Oblak is rated as a major doubt. Courtois is definitely out. He's going to be out for 6 weeks, and he is a absolutely massive loss for Real Madrid. Andre Lunin is a decent backup goalkeeper, and you'll remember in the 23-24 season when he played for most of the season, he was massive in the Champions League, and then came Courtois and he played the final and Real Madrid won because Courtois is the undisputed #1. Juan Musso is the best backup goalkeeper that Atletico Madrid have ever had since Jan Oblak has been at the club. And here in Madrid, there is a debate starting, and I don't think it's going to be for this season, but maybe at the start of next season. Is Musso ready to become #1 over Oblak? Again, maybe not this season, but at the start of next season, I think that question is going to be there. So to answer your question, we've got two pretty solid backup goalkeepers here. but the number ones in both cases are so good that it's definitely a climb down for both of these teams.
Phil, I've got two questions for you. One, have you been told off by your mum and she's put you in the understairs cupboard? And two, what can you explain to us Atletico Madrid's home and away form? Why such a huge difference?
To answer the first question, Geoff, I'm in my son's bedroom, which has got the best Wi-Fi reception in the house, which is why I'm recording on a very small little table in the corner. To the second question, listen, it's really, really strange. I mean, you look at their away form, it's 4 wins from 13 games away from home in La Liga. I think it's how teams set up against them. It's not necessarily how Atletico Madrid approach the game. It's maybe how they're forced to maybe take the game a little bit more to teams, and they actually quite like that at home. This is not a team that really likes to sort of sit back and defend as much as we think Atletico Madrid do. I think it's got a lot to do with how a team set up against them. But it is one of the great mysteries of football. You know, how can you be so strong at home? It's a big one. I would say this, though, a draw is a good result for Atletico Madrid in this game, because obviously they just essentially want to try and derail Real Madrid, you know, and keep going, and they don't necessarily need to win this game. Real Madrid, a draw is a bad result for them, and the last 3 Madrid derbies at the Bernabéu in the league have all been the same scoreline, 1-1.
So, Phil, talk to me about the tactical changes that you foresee in this matchup.
The tactical changes. Well, let's see what happens with Real Madrid and if Kylian Mbappé starts, because I think that's one of the key thing for Real Madrid. Speaking to people at the club today, he's been training today. The feeling at the moment, again, Friday morning, is that he's in a good position to start. But if he doesn't, Brahim Diaz has been playing really well in his place, and I actually think it's kind of unfair that Brahim Diaz gets dropped after we've seen how he's played over the last couple of games. But obviously, Mbappé comes in and Brahim Diaz drops out. But that changes how the team plays. You know, Brahim Diaz is playing as a kind of a 5th midfielder, which gives a lot more energy and pressing in the midfield. It allows Real Madrid to recover possession a lot more. With Kylian Mbappé, you do not necessarily get that. What you do get is someone who scored 23 league goals this season, and Brahim Diaz hasn't scored a league goal this season. So I'm really, really interested to see, obviously, if Mbappé starts, not just because he's possibly the best forward in the world and he does have that goal-scoring prowess, but if Real Madrid can continue to show the kind of intensity that we've seen them in the last few games, you know, against Celta Vigo, against Manchester City, against Elche. These games, you know, some of them have been good performances, some of them have been okay. But what we've all seen is that there's been this kind of intensity, this energy in midfield to win the ball back, to press, which was starkly missing from other performances this season. And if Mbappé comes back into the team, yes, you get a goal scorer, but do they continue that intensity in midfield? And obviously for Atletico Madrid, I kind of think we know how we're going to see them line up. Obviously, Julian Simeone going to be a bullet down the right wing, and Julian Alvarez, who is in very, very good form after going through a very bad patch of form. He didn't score in 4 months in the league, but he's been scoring goals. He's been looking fit, and he has been making people discuss his future, because he was asked about his future. He said, "Can you guarantee you'll be at Atletico Madrid next season?" And he said, "What do I know? Maybe, maybe not." That's not what Atletico Madrid fans want to hear. And also, it's not what they deserve to hear, because Julian, you didn't score for 4 months. Nobody was whistling you. Nobody was calling you out. You got absolutely unequivocal support from the Atletico Madrid board, manager and fans, and your teammates as well. And when you come out and you say something like that, all you have to do is say, "I've got a contract. I'm happy here. We'll see what happens, but I've got a contract here." Done. He did not say that, and then he was given another chance to say that after the Tottenham game in midweek, and he said, "Oh, well, you know, I just want to thank the travelling fans who came to support us. They're great. Thanks for the support." He didn't say anything about his future. So from an Atletico Madrid perspective, a lot of the build-up to this game has been around Julian, around his future, and around those comments.
Phil, you teased a draw would be good for Atleti here, but what's your prediction?
1-1 draw, obviously. There's always a 1-1 draw at the Bernabéu. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, 6 of the last 9 at the Bernabéu have been draws. The last 3 have been 1-1. So it would lend itself towards being a draw. But hey, you know what? I'm going to say Real Madrid. Real Madrid need it more, and Atletico Madrid have one eye on what's coming up, because remember, they've got Barcelona in the Liga after the international break. They've got Barcelona home and away in the Champions League. They've got Sevilla in the league, and then they have the Copa del Rey final on the 18th of April, which completely defines their season. So you know, their battles are elsewhere, and I think Real Madrid will get this one done.
Atleti is going to be absolutely destroyed in a couple weeks from all their upcoming matches. Well, Phil, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. You're going to be on the call. We're looking forward to it.
Kitromilides.
Pleasure, guys.
Top man.
Madrid Derby.
Enjoy Tottenham Forest as well.
Oh, no.